So you're a teacher. How?
I ran here, so I was hot for the first half.
For the whole hour and a half. Soldier then.
The Emperor, hearing your worth, ere you attained that reverend garment, joins you in commission with the right fortunate soldier, the Marquis of Pescara, and the famous Lenore.
He that had the honour of taking the French king.
The same. Here's a plot drawn up for a new fortification at Naples.
This great Count Malatesti, I perceive, has got employment.
No employment, my lady. A marginal note in Master Book, for he's a voluntary lord.
Well, he's no soldier.
He's worn gunpowder and swallowed tooth of the toothache, and have read all the late services the City Chronicle relates it. And he keeps 2 futures going, only to express battles and model.
And he'll fight by the book.
Rossella arrived. What should be the business? Some falling out amongst the cardinals. These factions amongst great men are like foxes when their heads are divided. They carry fire in their tails, and the whole country about them goes to rack for it. In such deformed silence, witches whisper their charms.
Doth she make religion her riding hood to hide her from the sun and tempest? That damns her. Methinks her fault and beauty blended together show like leprosy, the whiter the fouler, making it question whether her beggarly brats were ever christened.
I will instantly solicit the state of Ancona to have them back.
Ah, you'll fall the record. I'll be at your ceremony. Say you well. Antonio, a slave that only smelled of ink and counters, never in his life looked like a gentleman, but in the audit time. Go presently, draw me out 150 of our horse and meet me at the footbridge.
I've not seen a goodlier shrine than this. I have visited many.
Cardinal of Aragon is this day expected to resign his cardinal's hat. I expect a noble ceremony.
No question. We come. Banished Ancona.
Yes. You see what power lightens in great men's breath.
And what is all our poor train shrunk to this poor remainder?
These poor men which have got little from your service vow to take your fortune. Your wiser buntings, now they are fledged, are gone.
But they have done wisely. But this puts me in mind of death. The physicians thus, with their hands full of money, used to give over their patients.
Right, the fashion of the world. From decaying fortunes, every flatterer shrinks. Men cease to build where the foundation sinks.
No, I had a strange dream tonight.
What was it?
When we thought I wore my coronet of state, well, on the sudden, all the diamonds were changed to pearls.
My interpretation is you'll weep shortly, for the pearls do signify your tears.
No, the birds that live in the wild benefit of nature live happier than we. And if they may choose their mates and cower their sweet pleasures to the spring.
You are happily saying.
From my sister.
Yes. Your sister, the Lady Ferdinand, all love and safety.
Now that is blanch mischief. You must make it white. I see. I see. Like to calm weather at sea before a tempest. No false hearts speak fair to those they intend most mischief. What's this? Send Antonio to me. I want his head in a business. A politic equivocation. Well, no, she doth not want your counsel, but your head. And here's another pitfall. Strewed over with roses, market is a cunning one. I stand engaged with your husband for several debts at Naples. Let that not trouble him, no. I would rather his heart than his money. I believe so too.
What do you believe?
Well, that she so much distrusts my husband's love, she will by no means believe his heart is with him until she sees it.
Will you reject that noble and freely of amity and love which I present to you?
No, their league is like that of politic kings, only to make themselves of strength and power to be our after ruin. Tell them so.
What from you?
Thus tell her I'll not come.
What of this?
My sisters have dispersed bloodhounds abroad, which till I hear are muzzled, no truce, though ever such hatched with politic skill, is safe that hangs on our enemies' will. I'll not come.
This rather proclaims your breeding. Every small thing draws a base mind to fear as the adamant draws iron. Fare you well, sir. You shall shortly hear from us.
I suspect some ambush. Therefore, by all my love, I do conjure thee to take thy eldest son and fly to Milan. Now let us not all venture this poor remainder in one unlucky bottom.
You counsel safely. Best of my life, farewell. Since we must part, now heaven hath a hand in it, but no otherwise than as some curious artist who takes in sunder a clock or watch to put it better in order.
I know what is best. Than to see you dead or part with you. Oh, boy. Oh, now, thou art happy that hast not understanding to know thy misery. And for all our wit and readings bring us to a truer sense of sorrow. Though in the eternal church, sir, I do hope we shall not part thus.
Be of comfort. Make patience a noble fortitude, and think not how unkindly we are used. Man, like to Cassia, has proved best being bruised.
What? Then must I, like to slave born Russian, account it praise to suffer tyranny? And yet, heaven, no, thy hand is in it. Now I have seen my little boy obscribed at his top and then compared myself to it. They not made me ever go right, but heaven's crouched thick.
Not we. Heaven fashioned us for nothing. from the thing we strive to return. Very well, Carriola. My sweet armful. If I didn't ever see me more, be a good mother to our children and save them from the tiger. Very well.
Let me look upon you once more. First speech to come from a dying father. Oh, my kiss was colder than I have seen a holy anchor I'd give a dead man's skull.
My heart is a heavy lump of lead with which I sound my danger. Very well.
Oh, my laurel is all withered.
Oh, my lady, what a troop of armed men makes towards us.
No, they are welcome. When fortune's wheel is overcharged with princes, the weight makes it move swift. No, I would have my ruin be sudden. Well, I am your adventure, am I not?
You are. You must see your husband nimble.
Oh, what devil art thou that counterfeitest heaven's thunder?
Is that terrible? I would have you tell me, is that note worse that frights the silly bird out of the corn, or that which to lure them to the nets? You have hearkened to the last too much.
Oh, misery! What, like to a rusty, overcharged cannon, shall I never fly in pieces? Come, want to what prison?
To none.
Whither then?
To your palace.
Oh, no, but I have heard that Charon's boat serves to convey all over that dismal lake and brings none back again.
The sisters mean you safety and
Pity! No, of such pity men preserve alive pheasants and quails not fat enough to be eaten.
these your children.
Yes.
Can they practice?
No. But I intend, since they were born accursed, curses shall be
Fine, Adam. I'll get this face. Loafer.
Oh, if I were a man. No, I'd beat that counterfeit face into thy other.
One of no birth.
Oh no, say that he was born mean. No, men is most happy when his actions be arguments and examples of his virtue.
A barren, beggarly virtue.
I pray thee, who is greatest? No, what can you tell? No, sad stories befit my way. I'll tell you one. A salmon, as she swam unto the sea, met with a dogfish, who encountered her with this rough language. Why art thou so bold to mix thyself with our high state of flood? Being no eminent courtier, but no one for the calmest and fresh time of the year does live in shallow rivers, and rankest thyself with silly smelts and shrimps. What, and darest thou pass by our dog ship without reverence? Oh, quoth the salmon. Oh, sister, be at peace. Thank Jupiter we both have passed the net. But our value never can be truly known until in the fish's basket we be shown. In the market then my price may be the higher, even when I'm nearest the cooking fire. To some great men this moral may be stretched, and men are oft valued high when they're most wretched. Well, come, prithee. I am armed against misery, bent to all sways of the oppressor's will. Oh no, there is no deep valley but near some great hill.
How does our sister Duchess spare herself in her imprisonment?
Nobly. I'll describe her. She's sad as one long used to it. She seems rather to welcome the end of misery than shun it. The behaviour is so noble as gives a majesty to adversity. You may discern through loveliness more perfect in her tears and in her smiles. She muses for hours together. Her silence, methinks, expressed more than if she spake.
Her melancholy seems fortified with a strange disdain.
'Tis so, this restraint, like English mastiffs grown fierce with the tying, doth make her too passionately apprehend those pleasures she is kept
Curse
from.
upon her. Now I will no longer study in the book of another's heart. Inform her what I told you.
Will compass to your grace.
I will have none. Now I pray thee, why dost thou wrap thy poison pills in gold and sugar?
Your sister, Lady Ferdinand, has come to visit you. She sends word because once she rashly made a solemn vow never to see you more. She comes in the night. She prays you neither torch nor paper burn in your chamber. She will kiss your hand and reconcile herself, but for her vow she dares not see.
Oh no, I'd have pleasure. Take hence the lights if she comes.
Whereupon
Yes, sister.
this darkness suits you well.
I would ask you pardon.
You have it. For I account it the greatest that I may kill to pardon wherever it comes.
Whom?
I'll call them your children. Although national law distinguish bastards from true legitimate issue, compassionate nature makes them equal.
You visit me for this? Look, you violate a sacrament of the church. They shall make you howl in hell for it.
Living well could you have lived thus always, for indeed you were too much in the life. But no more. I come to seal my peace with you. Here's a hand to which you vowed much love. The ring upon it you gave.
I affectionately kiss it.
Bury the print of it in your heart. I leave this ring with you as a love token, and the hand as sure as the ring. Do not doubt that you will have the heart too. When you need a friend, send it to him. So know that you will see whether he can aid you.
You are very poor, sister. No, I fear you are not well after.
Let out lights! Enough!
Oh, which part is this that you let the devil?
Look you, here's the piece from which she was taken. She presents you this sad spectacle so that you know directly they are dead and hereafter may wisely cease to grieve for that which cannot be recovered.
There is not one between heaven and earth. What wish I say for after this? Though we see more than were in my picture fashioned out of wax and stuck with a magical needle and buried into the dunghill. But yon is an excellent property for a time which I would account mercy.
Oh, what's that?
Oh, they would bind me to that life, this trunk, and let me freeze to death.
Oh, come, you must live.
No, that is the greatest torture souls feel in hell. No, they must live and cannot die. Oh, Portia, I'll new kindle thy coals again and revive the rare and always dead example of a loving one.
No, fie, despair, remember, you are a Christian.
Oh, the church enjoins in fasting? Well, I'll starve myself to death.
You know, leave this vain sorrow, things being worse, begin to mend. The bee, when he has shot his sting in your hand, may yet play with your eyes.
Oh, good comfortable fellow. No, persuade a wretch that's broke upon the will to have his bones loose at. No, entreat him live to be executed again. You must dispatch me. Now, I do account this world a tedious theatre, for I do play a part in it against my will.
Come, dear comfort. I'll save your life.
Indeed, I have not leisure to tend so small a business.
Now, I'm alive. I pity you.
Thou art a fool, then. But to waste thy pity on a thing so wretched as cannot pity itself. Now I am full of daggers. Oh, half let me blow these vipers from me.
Oh, fine.
No, I could curse the stars and 3 smiling seasons of the year into a Russian winter, nay, the world to its first chaos.
Look at the stars shine.
I don't know, but you must remember, my cats have a great way to go. No, let plagues that make slaves through largest families consume them. Let them, like tyrants, never be remembered, but for the ill they have done. Let them, like all zealous prayers of mortified churchmen, forget them, and let heaven. So that a while, but cease crowning martyrs to punish them. No, go, how then this? And tell them I long to bleed. 'Tis but mercy when men kill with speed.
Excellent. As I would wish. She's plagued in art. These figures are but framed in wax, and she takes them for true substantial bodies.
Why do you do this?
To bring her to despair.
Faith, end here and go no further in your cruelty. Send her some penetrative balm for her skin or burnish her.
That body of hers will let my blood run pure in it. There's more worth than that which thou wouldst comfort, call the soul. I will send her masks of common courtesans, have her meat served up by bawds and ruffians, and 'cause she'll needs be mad, I am resolved to move forth the common hospital, all the mad folk, and place them near her lodging there. Let them practice together, have them sing and dance and act their gambols to the full of the moon. If she can sleep, the better for it, better. Your work is almost ended.
Must I see her again?
Yes.
Never.
You must.
Never in my own shape. That's what my own intelligence in this last cruel lie. When next you send me, the business shall be comfort.
Oh, very likely. My pity is nothing of kin to thee. Antonio lurks about Milan. Thou shalt shortly thither to feed a fire as great as my revenge, which never will slack till it hath spent its fuel. Intemperate agues make physicians cruel.
Oh, what is that hideous noise?
'Tis the wild torrent of madmen, lady, which your tyrant sister have placed about these lodgings. I think such tyranny was ever practiced all this hour.
No, indeed, I thank her. If only noise and frolic can keep me in my right wits. As reason and silence only make me stark mad. Come, discourse to me some dismal tragedy.
Will increase your melancholy.
Thou art deceived. There are greater grief in lesson mine. This is a prison.
Yes, but you shall live to shape this durance off.
Thou art a fool. Now the red robin breast nightingale never lived long in cages.
Pray, dry your eyes. What think you of, madam?
Nothing. No, when I muse, that's I sleep.
Like a madman. With your eyes open.
Does that think we will know one another in the other world?
Yes. Ask the question.
Were it possible we might but hold 2 days' conference in the tent. From them I should learn somewhat, I'm sure I never shall know here. But I'll tell thee a miracle. Oh, I'm not mad yet, not to my cause of sorrow. No, the earth beneath me is made of flaming sulfur, the heavens above my head, molten brass, and yet, oh no, I'm not mad yet. Now I'm acquainted with sad misery as the tanned galley slave is with his fall. The necessity made me suffer constantly, and custom made it easy. Who do I look like now?
Like your picture in the gallery. Much life in show, none in practice. Or like some ancient monument, ruins, or even to be pitied.
I'm very proper. And it seems fortune only has her eyesight to behold my tragedy. Oh no, what hideous noises. No, let them come in. Come now, Yola. No, let them loose where you please. I am chained to endure all your tyranny.
Oh, let us howl some heavy note, some deadly dogged howl, a soundings from the threatening gulls of beast and fading clouds, and fire never goes out until the noise of fluid to ears and corrosive to hearts. Fast without wild, what it seems that will sing like swans to sing for the fever.
Oh, what, is he mad too?
I am come to make thy tomb.
My tomb? No, thou speakest as if I'm lying on my deathbed, gasping for breath. Or dost thou perceive me sick?
Yes, and more dangerously, since thy sickness is insensible.
Oh no, thou art not mad, sure. Dost thou know me?
Yes,
Who am I?
thou art a box of wormseed, at best a salvatory of green mummy. What's this flesh? Little crudded milk, pasticle puff paper. Our bodies are weaker than those paper prisons boys used to keep flies in, more contemptible, since ours is to preserve earthworms. As I receive a lark in a cage, such is the soul in the body. This world is a little turf of grass, the heaven o'er our heads, our looking glass, when it gives us a knowledge of the small compass of our miserable prison.
Am I not thy Duchess?
Oh, that's a great woman, sure. A riot sits on my forehead, clad in grey hairs, 20 years sooner than our merry milkmaids. Thou seest worse than if a mouse had been forced to keep her lodgings a cat's ear, a little infant. Should it lie with thee, would cry out as if thou wert a more unquiet bedfellow.
No, but I am Duchess of Malfi still.
That makes thy sleep so broken. Glories like glowworms afar off shine bright, but look too near, have neither heat nor light.
Oh, thou art very plain.
'Tis my trade to fatten the dead, not the living. I am a tomb.
Oh, and thou comest to make my tomb.
Yes.
No, well, let me be a little merry. Now, what stuff will thou make it?
Nay, resolve me first, in what fashion?
Why? Or do we grow fantastical on our deathbed? Or do we affect a fashion in the grave?
Most ambitiously, printed images in their tombs do not lie as they are wont, with their faces up to heaven, but with their hands under their cheeks, as though they had died of the toothache. They're not carved with their eyes fixed upon the stars, but as their minds were wholly bent upon the world, the self same way they seem to turn their faces.
Oh, no, let me know, therefore, fully the effect of this, thy dismal preparation, this talk fit for a charnel.
Oh no, I shall. The coffin, cord, and bell is a gift for your princely sisters, made her welcome, for it brings last benefit, last sorrow.
Let me see it. I have so much obedience in my blood. I wish it in their veins to do them good.
This is your last presence chamber.
Oh, my sweet lady! Peace. It affrights not me.
I am the common bellman as usually sent to condemn persons before they suffer.
No, even now thou sayest thou was my tomb maker.
'Twas to bring me by degrees to mortification. Shh, listen. Hark. Now everything is still. Screech owl, whistler shrill. Call upon our day aloud and bid her quickly upon her shroud. What you have of land and rent, your length in clays now competent. A long war disturbed your mind, here your perfect peace is signed. Oh, what is make fools such vain keeping sin, their conception, their birth, weeping the life, a general mist of error, their death, a hideous storm of terror. Strew a hair with powder sweet on clean linen, bathe your feet, and the foul fiend the more to check, a crucifix that blessed your neck. Is now full time between night and day. End your cry and come away.
Villains! Tyrants, murderers, what will you do with my lady? Call for help!
Our next door neighbours know they are mad folk.
Remove that noise.
Don't. My last will, I have not much to give thee, and many hungry guests have fed upon me. Thine will be a poor revision.
I will die with her!
Look thou give my little boy some syrup for his cold, and let the girl say her prayers ere she sleeps. Come. What death?
Strangling. Here your executions.
I forgive them. No, they would do as much as the apoplexy, cataract, cough of the lungs would do.
Doth not death fright you?
Oh, who would it frighten? And no knowing to be and meet such excellent company in the other world.
Yet methinks the man your death should much afflict you, this cord should terrify you.
Not a whit. Now, what would it pleasure me to have my throat cut with diamonds? Or to be smothered to death with cassia, shot to death with pearls? Now, I know death have 10,000 several doors for men to take their exits. And 'tis found they go on such strange geometrical hinges, you may open them both ways. Anyway, for heaven's sake, so I was out of your whispering. Now tell my sisters that I perceive death now. I am well awake to be the best gift he could give, I could take. No, I'm not fain, my last woman's fault. I'd not be tedious to you. Dispose my breath, how please you, but my body bestow upon my women, will you? Well, pull and pull strongly. Your able strength must pull heaven down upon me. Yet say, no, heavens, palaces is not as highly arched as princes. No, those that enter there must go upon their knees. Or come violent death. No, serve for me as mandragora to make me sleep. Now, and tell my sisters when I'm laid out, they then may feed in quiet.
What's the waiting woman? Fetcher! Look, you here slick for mistress.
Oh, you are damned perpetually for this. My turn is next.
Yes, well, I'm glad you're so well prepared for it.
You're deceived, sir. I'm not prepared. I will not die. First, I will come to my answer and know how I have offended.
Come, dispatch. You kept her counsel, I should keep ours.
I will not die. I must not. I'm betrothed to a young gentleman. Oh, let me proceed to the councilman. I'll discover treason against his person.
Oh, delay, throttle her.
I couldn't, the child.
So why then your credit so? Bad. Let these lie still.
Is she dead?
She is what you'd have her. But here begin your pity, alas, how of her babes, if anything.
The death of young wolves is never to be pitied.
Fix your eye here.
Constantly.
Do you not weep? Other sins only speak, murder shrieks out, the elements of water moisten the earth, but blood flies up and bedews the heavens.
Come her face, mine eyes, dazzle. She died young.
You're not sober and misty, and years too many.
She and I were twins. And should I die this instant, I had lived no time to remember.
It seems she was born first. You have bloodily approved the ancient truth that kindred do commonly worse agree than remote strangers.
Let me see her face again. Well, why didst thou not pity her? Well, what an excellent, honest man thou mightst have been if thou hadst borne her to some sanctuary. Or bold in a good cause oppose thyself, with thy advanced sword above thy head between her innocence and thy revenge. I beg thee. No, when I was distracted of my wits, go kill my dearest friend, and all that I was done it. Let me but examine well the cause. What was the meanness of her match to me? I confess I had a hope. And she continued, widow, to have gained an infinite mass of treasure upon her death, for that was the main cause in the marriage. Drew a stream of gore quite through my heart. For thee, as we observe in tragedies that a good actor many times is cursed for playing the villain's part, I hate thee for it. And for my sake, say thou hast done much ill. Well,
let me quicken your memory, for I perceive you are falling into ingratitude. I challenge the reward due to my service.
I'll tell thee what I'll give thee.
Do.
I'll give thee a pardon for this murder. Yes, and to the largest bounty I can study to do thee. By what authority dost thou execute this bloody sentence?
By yours!
Mine? Was I the judge? Did any ceremonial form of law doom her to not be? Did a complete jury deliver her conviction up in the court? See, where shalt thou find this judgment registered unless in hell? See, like a bloody fool, thou hast forfeited thy life, and now shalt die for it.
The office of justice is perverted quite when one thief hanged another. Which debtor will it?
Oh, I'll tell thee. The wolf shall find her grave and scrape it up. Not to devour the corpse, but to discover the horrid murder.
You and I shall quake for it.
Leave me.
I will first receive my
You're
pension.
a villain!
When your ingratitude to judge, I am so.
Oh, horror that not the fear of him which binds the devil can prescribe man obedient. Never look upon me more.
Oh, fare ye well. You and your sister are worthy men. You have a pair of hearts, a hollow graves, rotten, and rotting others. Your vengeance, like two chain bullets, still goes arm in arm. Or you may be sisters. For treason, like the plague, doth take much in blood. I stand like one that long hath ta'en a sweet and golden dream, and I am angry, but now I do wake.
Get thee to some unknown part of the world that I may never know thee.
Wherefore? Should it thus neglected, ma'am? I served with tyranny, and rather sure to satisfy yourself than all the world. And though I loathe the evil, yet I loved you, then counsel it, and rather sought to appear a true servant and an honest man.
I'll go hunt the badger by owl light. 'Tis a deed of darkness.
She's much distracted. Off my pated honour. Whilst with vain hopes our faculties retire, we seem to sweat in ice and freeze in fire. What would I do? Were this to do it? I would not change my peace of conscience for all the wealth in Europe. When she stirs, he's like return to her soul from darkness and lead mine out of this sensible hell. Oh, she's warm, she breathes upon her lips. I will break my heart to store it again with fresh colour. Alas, who's there? No, some cordial drink. I cannot cause a pity to destroy my teeth. Oh, her eye opes in it, heaven seems to open. Late was shut me up, mercy. Yes, madam, he's living. The bodies you saw were but vain statues. He's reconciled your sister. The Pope hath brought the atonement. Oh, she's gone again. There, cords of life broke. Oh, sacred innocence that sweetly sleeps on turtle feathers, whilst a guilty conscience is a black register wherein is writ all our good deeds and bad, a perspective that shows us hell. We can't be suffered to do good, we have a mind to it. Oh, this is a manly sorrow. These tears, I am very certain, never grew in my mother's milk. I saintly sunk below the degree of fear. Where were these penitent fountains where she was living? No, they were frozen up. And it was a sight as direful to my soul as he's a sword unto the wretch hath slain his father. No. Come. Up heavy heads. Execute thy last will. Deliver thy body to the good dispose of some reverend woman. That's the cruel tyrant. Shall not deny me. Then I'll post him the heart. which somewhat speedily I will enact, worth my dejection.
What think you of my hope of reconcilement with the Aragonian brethren?
I misdoubt it. Although they send their letters of safe conduct for your repair to Milan, they seem but nets to entrap you. The Marquis of Pescara, under whom you hold certain land in cheat, much against his noble nature, have been moved to seize those lands, and many of his dependents are making it their suit to be invested in your revenues. I cannot think they mean well to your life that do deprive you of your means of life. Your living.
You are still a heretic to any safety I can shake myself.
What course do you mean to take, Antonio?
This night, I mean to venture all my fortune, which is no more than a poor, lingering life, to the Cardinal's worst of malice. I've got private access to her chamber and intend to visit her as once her sister did our noble Duchess. It might be that the sudden apprehension of danger, for I'll go in my own shape, when she see it freight with love and duty, may draw the poison out of her, work a friendly reconcilement. If it fail, yet it shall rid me of this infamous calling, better to fall once than ever be falling.
I'll second you in all danger, and however my life keeps rank with yours.
You are still my loved and best friend.
Now, doctor, may I see your patient?
If it please your ladyship, but she's presently to take the air here in the gallery by my direction.
What's her disease?
A very pestilent disease, my lady. They call it lycanthropia.
What's that? I need a dictionary to it.
I'll tell you. In those that are possessed, there overflows a melancholy humour in which they imagine themselves to be transformed into wolves, steal forth into churchyards in the dead of night and dig dead bodies up, as one found the lady 2 nights since in an alley behind St. Mark's Church with the leg of a man upon her shoulder. She did howl fearfully, say she were a wolf, only the difference was a wolf skin is hairy on the outside, hers on the inside, bade them draw their swords, rip up her flesh and try. Straight I was sent for, and having ministered to her, found her very well recovered, yet not without some fear of relapse. Oh, stand aside, she comes.
Leave me.
Why does your ladyship love this solitariness?
Eagles commonly fly alone. they are crows and doors and starlings that flock together. Look what that follows me!
Well,
Oh,
indeed.
yes.
But your shadow.
Well, stay it! Let it not haunt me.
Possible if you move in the sunshine.
I will throttle it!
Oh, my lady,
No!
you are angry.
You're a
nothing.
fool! How is it I should touch my shadow unless I fall upon it? When I go to hell, I mean to carry a bride, for look! You! Good gifts evermore make way for the worst persons.
Rise, my good lady.
I am practicing the art of peace.
Tis a noble
To drive 6 snails before me from this town to Moscow. Neither use goad nor whip to them, and let them take their own time. The patientest man in the world match me for an experiment. And I'll crawl after like a sheep biter. Wash her up. No! Use me well!
out of your princely wits?
What's he?
Your doctor.
Let me have his beard sawn off and his eyebrows filed.
I must do mad tricks with effort. That's the only way on it.
Ah.
I have brought you a salamander skin to keep you from sunburning.
I have cruel, sore eyes.
The white of a cockatrix's egg is present remedy.
Oh, let it be a new laid one. You are best. Hide me from him! Physicians are like kings. They brook no contradiction.
Now she begins to fear me. Now let me alone with her.
Now? Put on your gown.
Let me have some 40-year-olds filled with rose water. She and I'll pelt one another with them. Now she begins to fear me.
Can you fetch your frisks, sir? I will stamp him into a callus, flay off his skin to cover one of the anatomies, this rogue, and set in the yondering bar the surgeon's whole hands. Hence you are all of you beasts for sacrifice. There's no left of you but time and belly, flattery and lechery. Oh, doctor, she did not hear you thoroughly.
True. It was somewhat too forward.
By my life, what a fatal judgment hath befallen this Ferdinand.
Does your grace know what accident hath befallen the lady that should cause this strange distraction?
I must fain somewhat. You have heard it rumoured these many years that none in our family shall die, but there is seen the shape of an old woman. It is given to us that she was murdered by her nephews for her riches. Such a figure appeared to Our Lady one night when she sat up at book, when, crying out for help, the gentleman of her chamber came and found her grace all in a cold sweat, altered much in face and language, since which apparition she hath grown worse and worse and worse. I do fear she cannot live.
Ma, but speak with you.
I'll leave your grace, wishing to the sick Our Lady all health of mind and body.
You are very welcome. Art thou come? This gentleman must not know I had intelligence in our Duchess's death, for, though I counselled it, the fall of the engagement seemed to rise from Ferdinand. Now, sir, how fares our sister? I do not think, but sorrow makes her look to an oft-dyed garment. But she shall take comfort from me. Why do you look about so wildly? Oh, the fortune of your master here, the Lady Ferdinand, rejects you. But be you of happy comfort. For if you'll do but one thing for me, I'll entreat, though a cold tombstone lay over her bones, I'll make thee what you will.
No, anything. Give it to me in a breath. They that think long, small expedition win, for the using of the end cannot begin.
Mom,
Just
you
that.
tried to suffer.
I am busy. Leave me.
What excellent shape hath that fellow?
'Tis thus. Antonio lurks here in Milan, and buy him out and kill him. While he lives, our sister Duchess cannot marry, and I have thought of an excellent match for her.
But by what means shall I find him out?
There is a gentlewoman called Delio here in the camp who has been long approved his loyal friend. Seek her out. Follow her to mass. Maybe Antonio, though he do account religion, but a school name, fashion of the world may accompany her, or else find out her confessor and bribe him to reveal it. There are 1,000 ways a man might find to trace her. Great sums of money for sure she's in want, or else go to the picture makers and find out who have bought her picture lately. Some of these haply may take.
I'll not freeze in the business. I will see that wretched thing Antonio of all sights in the world.
And be happy.
This fellow doth read basilisks in her eyes. Nothing else but murder, yet she seems not to have noticed the Duchess's death. 'Tis hard cunning. follow her example. Cannot be a sure way to trace the Navanol fox.
So, sir, you are well met.
Oh, now?
Nay, the doors are fast enough. Now, sir, I will make you confess your treachery.
Treachery.
Yes. Confess to me which of my women 'twas you hired to put love powder in my drink.
Love powder.
Yes. When I was at Malfi. Why would I fall in love with such a face as? I have already suffered for thee so much pain that the only remedy to do me good is to kill my lovely.
Oh, sure, your pistol has nothing but perfumes and kissing comforts. Oh, excellent lady. A pretty way to discover your longing. Come, all this on you. Gosh, yet 'tis wondrous strange.
Compare thy form and my eyes together. You find my love no such great miracle. Now you'll say I am wanton. This nice modesty in ladies is but a troublesome familiar.
No, you I am a blunt soldier.
Better. Sure, there wants fire where there are no lively sparks of brightness.
And I want compliment.
Why ignorance and courtship cannot make you do amiss if you have heart to do well.
You are very fair.
Nay, if you lay beauty to my charge, I must plead and guilty.
Your bright eyes have a quiver of darts in them sharper than sunbeams.
You will mar me with commendation. Put yourself to the charge of courting me, whereas now I will you.
I have it. I must work upon this creature that has grown most amorously familiar. If the great cardinal should see me that, she should not count me a villain.
No! She might count me a wanton, not lay a scruple of offence on you. For if I see and steal a diamond, the fault lies not in the stone, but in me, the thief that purloins it. I am suddenly viewed. Leave it to great women of pleasure used to cut off these uncertain wishes or unquiet longings, and join the sweet delight and the pretty excuse together in an instant. Had you been in the street under my chamber window, even there I should have thought of you.
Oh, you're an excellent lady.
Bid me do somewhat for you presently to express I love you.
I will, and if you love not me, fail not to affect it. The cardinal is growing wondrous melancholy, demands the cause on it, let her not put you off with feigned excuse to discover the main ground.
Why would you know this?
I have depended upon her, and here she's fallen in some disgrace with the emperor. If we so, like mice that forsake falling houses, I would shift to other dependents.
You shall not follow the law. I'll be your maintenance.
I am your loyal servant, but I cannot leave my calling.
Not leave an ungrateful general for the love of a sweet lady. You're like some cannot sleep in feather beds, but must have feathers with a pillow.
Will you do this?
Cunningly.
Tomorrow, I expect the intelligence.
Tomorrow? Get you into my cabinet. You shall have it with you. Do not delay me no more than I do you. I am like one that is condemned. I have my pardon promised, but I should see it sealed. Go, get you in. You shall see me winding my tongue about her heart like a skyey Yon's my lingering consumption. I do tire of her, and would by any means be quit of. How now, my lady love, what ails you? Nothing. Oh, you are much altered. Come, I must be thy secretary and remove this lead from your bosom. What's the matter? You may not tell you. Are you so far in love with sorrow you cannot part of it? Or think you I cannot love your grace when you're sad as well as happy? Or do you suspect that I, who's been secret to your heart these many winters, cannot be the same as your tongue? Satisfy thy longing. The only way to make you keep my counsel is not to tell me. So you'll echo this, or flatterers that like echoes still report what they hear that are most imperfect and not me. Or if they be true unto yourself, I'll know. Or Will you rack me?
Your judgment shall draw it from you.
It is equal fault to tell one secret to all or to profess like his folly. But the last two. Very well. Imagine I have committed some secret deed which I wish the world may never hear of. Therefore may not I know it. You have concealed from me as great a sin as adultery, Mum. Never was occasion for perfect trial of my constancy till now. Not be deceived. You'll repent it. Never. It hurries thee to ruin, I'll not tell you. Be well advised, and think what danger 'tis to receive a prince's secrets. They that do have need have their breasts hooped with adamant to contain them. Examine thine own frailties. 'Tis much easier to tie knots than unloose them. 'Tis a secret which may chance lie, spread in thy veins, and kill thee 7 years hence. You dally with me? Very well, thou shalt know it. By my order, the great Duchess of Malfi and 2 of her young children, 4 nights since, were strangled. How now? How settles this? Think you your bosom will be a grave, dark, and obscure enough for such a secret? Why? It lies not in me to conceive it. No? I'll swear thee to it on this book. Most religiously. Kiss it. Now you shall never utter it. Thy curiosity hath undone thee. Thou art poisoned with that book. Because I knew thou couldst not keep my counsel, I have bound thee to it by death.
For pity's sake! Oh!
Butler, I forgive you. The sequel piece of justice you have done, for I betrayed your counsel. That was the cause in which I said it lay not in me to conceal it.
Oh, foolish woman. It's not to poison her.
Tis weakness. Too much to think what should have been done. I'm not with it. Okay, so
To find a great man like yourself, a man of his wits as Lady Ferdinand, to remember my service.
I'll have thee hewed in pieces.
Make not yourself to promise that life which is not yours to dispose of.
Who placed thee here?
Her lust, as she intended.
Very well. Now you know me for your fellow.
And wherefore should you lay fell purposes and rotten colours to me, unless you would imitate those that do plot great treasons? But when they have done, go hand in the grave with those who are actors in.
A fortune attends thee.
I sue to fortune any longer, it is a fool's pilgrimage.
I have honours in store for thee.
There are many ways that conduct to seeming honour, some of them very dirty ones.
Enough! Throw to the devil thy melancholy. The fire burns well enough without us need keep a stirring of it to make a greater smother. Thou wilt kill Antonio.
Yes!
Take up that body.
Methinks I would soon go the common bear for churchyards.
I will allow thee some dozen of attendants to aid thee in the murder.
Oh, by no means. Physicians, when they apply any horse leech to a rank swelling, used to cut off the tails, so that blood may flow through them the faster. Let me not have train when I go to shed blood, lest I have a greater one when I ride to the gallant.
Come to me at midnight to help remove that body to her own lodging. I'll give out she died of the plague. We'll breed less inquiry after her death.
As her husband, Lord Castruccio.
He's rode post to Naples to take possession of Antonio's property.
Believe me, you've done a very happy turn.
Here is the master key to our lodgings, by which you may entreat what trust I plant in you. Fail not to come.
She'll find me ready. Oh, poor Antonio. Though nothing be so needful to thy state as pity, yet I find nothing so dangerous. I must look my footing. In such slippery ice pavements, men had need be frost nailed well, they'll break their necks, else the precedent be reformed. How this woman bears in blood seems fearless. I noted well. Security some men call the suburbs of hell, only a dead wall between. Come, good Antonio. I'll seek thee out. And all my care shall be to put thee out of the reach of the most cruel biters that have got some of thy blood already. Maybe I will join thee in a most just revenge. For the weakest arm is strong enough that strikes with the sword of justice. Still, methinks that just haunts me. There. There! Oh, it's nothing but my melancholy. Oh, penitence! Let me most deeply drink thy cup that pulls men down only to raise them up.
Yon's the cardinal's window. This fortification grew from the ruins of an ancient abbey, and yon side of the river lies a wall, piece of a cloister, which in my opinion gave the best echo that you ever heard. So hollow and so dismal, and withal so plain in the distinction of our words, that many have supposed it is a spirit that answers.
I do love these ancient ruins. We do not tread upon them, but we set foot upon some reverend history, and questionless here in this open court, which now lies naked to the injuries of stormy weather. Some men lie interred, loved the church so well, and gave so largely to it, they thought it should have canopied their bones till doomsday. But all things have their end. Churches and cities, which have diseases like to men, must have like death that we have.
Like death that we have.
The echo hath caught you.
It groaned, methought, and gave a very deadly accent.
Deadly accent.
Told you 'twas a pretty one. You may make it a huntsman or a falconer, a musician or a thing of sorrow.
Thing of sorrow.
Aye, that suits it best.
That suits it best.
'Tis very like my wife's voice.
Hi, wife's voice.
Let us walk further from it. I would not have you go to the cardinal's tonight. Do not.
Do not.
Sorrow doth not walk more, wasting moderate time. Be mindful of thy
Be
safety.
mindful of their
Necessity
safety.
compels me. Make scrutiny through the passages of your own life, and find it impossible to fly your faith.
You think?
Hark. The dead stones have pity on you and give good counsel.
And not one repetition of the echo of that. And all of a sudden, clear light presented me a face folded in sorrow.
Your fancy, merely.
Come, I'll be out of this ague, for to live thus is not indeed to live. It's a mockery, an abuse of life. Henceforth I will not save myself by halves, lose all, or lose nothing.
Your own virtue save you. I'll fetch your elder son and second you. Maybe that the sight of his own blood spread in so sweet a figure may beget the more compassion. But fare you well. Though in our miseries fortune have a part, yet in our noble sufferings she hath none. Contempt of pain, that we may call our own.
At midnight, I may with better privacy convey Juliet's body to her own lodging. Oh, my conscience. I would pray now, but the devil takes away all my heart-firm confidence in prayer. It was about this hour I appointed Bossler to fetch the body. When he had served my turn, he dies.
Was the cardinal's voice. I hear her name Bossler at my death. Listen, his numbers flushing.
Strangling. It's very quiet there.
Yeah, it seems to stand upon my guard.
So startled. Whisper something. Do you greet him? It must be done. Dark. Cardinal would not for £1,000 the doctor should see it.
My death is plotted. Well, here's the consequence of murder. We value not desert nor Christian breath, and we know that black deeds must be cured with death.
Let's take her at her prayers. The world hope of pardon.
All right, my sword. Will give me so much leisure to pray.
I sended a long suit in a minute.
What art thou?
A most wretched thing that only have thy benefit in death to appear myself. Boss,
Whether I be thou art dead else. Antonio. A man I would have saved with my own life. Oh, the scarlet tennis ball stuck and bandied which may please them. Come, Antonio, it's the one thing in the dining here shall quickly break thy heart. Thy fair Duchess and 2 sweet children
their very names kindle a little life in me.
are murdered.
Some men wish to die at the hearing of sad tidings. I'm glad I shall do it in sadness. I would not now wish my wounds balmed, nor healed, for I have no use to put my life to. In all our quest of greatness, like wanton boys, whose pastime is their care, we follow after bubbles alone in the air. Pleasure of life, what is it? Only the good hours of an ague, merely a preparative to rest, to endure vexation. I do not ask the process of my death. Merely commend me to Delia,
Break up.
and let my son fly the courts of princes.
Oh, how swiftly flies my fate. I have this cardinal in the forge already now. Bring her to the hammer. Oh, direful in this prison. I'll not imitate things great no more than they. Henceforth, I'll be my own example. On, on, and look that represents for silence. Thing out there.
I am puzzled in a question about hell. He says in hell there's one material fire, yet it shall not burn all men alike. Lay him by. How tedious is a guilty conscience? When I look into the fish ponds in my garden, methinks I see a thing armed with a rake that seems to strike at me. Art thou come now? Well, it's ghastly. It sits in my face some great determination. It's with some fear.
Thus it lightens into action. I am come to kill thee.
Ha. Help our God!
Thou art deceived. They are out of thy howling.
Come. I will faithfully divide revenues with thee.
Thy prayers and proffers are both unseasonable.
Raise the watch, we are betrayed!
I have confined your flight. I'll suffer you retreat to Julia's chamber, but no further.
We are betrayed, my dukedom for rescue.
No, there's for you first. You shall not unbarricade the door and let rescue in.
What cause hast thou to pursue my life?
Look there.
And Tony.
Slain by my hand, unwittingly. Pray and be sudden. When thou killedst thy sister, thou tookst from justice her most equal balance and left her naught but her sword.
Mercy.
Now it seems thy greatness is only outward. Thou art fallen faster thyself than calamity can drive thee. I'll waste no further time. There.
No! Thou hast hurt me!
Again.
So I died like a leverage without resistance! Help!
Give me a fresh horse! Running the ball down the day I shake my sword over you. Will you yield?
Help me, I am your sister!
The devil! My sister! Fight on the adverse party! Fly your ransom! Oh, just like that! Ah! Oh! Oh, now you're brave, fellows! Caesar's fortune was harder than Pompey's. Caesar died in the arms of prosperity, Pompey at the feet of disgrace. The pain is nothing. Pain, many times, was taken away with the apprehension of greater, like a tooth inside of a barber that wants to pull it out. There's philosophy for you. Now, my revenge is perfect. The life of my life has done his best service.
Oh, give me some. My hand, I've broken it. I do account this world for the dog kennel. I will hold credit and affect high pleasures beyond death.
She seems to come to herself now she's so near the bottom.
My sister. Oh, my sister. No! There's the cause in it. Whether we fall by ambition, blood, or lust, like diamonds we are cut with our own dust. Thou hast died family too.
Yes. My weary soul is in my teeth, is ready to part from me. as you glory that thou, that stoodst like a huge pyramid begun upon a large and ample base, shall end in a little point, a kind of nothing. It is revenge for the Duchess of Malfi, murdered by thou, Aragonian brethren, for Antonio, slain by this hand, thus for Julia, poisoned by thou, woman, and lastly for myself. There was an actor, the main part of all, against my better judgment, and yet, in the end, neglect.
Looks my sister. She gave us these large wounds as we struggled in the road. I pray you, let me be lain by and never thought
God! Oh, I am gone. Oh, we are like dead walls or vaulted graves, the ruined yield. No echo. Oh, fare you well. Don't be vain. It is no harm for me to die in so good a quarrel. Oh, this gloomy world. What a shadow, what deep pit of darkness. The fearful and womanish mankind live. Let worthy minds ne'er stagger in distrust, to suffer shame or death for what is just. Mine is another voyage.
Then come too late. I heard so, and was armed for it ere I came. Let us make noble use of this great ruin, and join all our forces to establish this young, hopeful gentleman in his mother's right. These wretched, eminent things leave no more fame behind them than were one to fall in a frost and leave a print in snow. Soon as sun shines, it ever melts both form and matter. I have often thought nature doth nothing so great for great men as when she's pleased to make them lords of truth. Integrity of life is fame's best friend, which nobly, beyond death, shall crown the end.
Everyone, thanks so much for coming to the final performance of the final show of the end of the term, The Duchess of Malfi, written by John Webster, directed by Sarah Parry, produced by Abby Evans, Nathan Livingston. Huge round of applause for all the cast, including there's so many of them. Good evening.